okay, we're just cruising along this stuff, right? This is like, isn't this like, you feel like this should be like what business school is, right? Like it should be like, hey, you should have this. Like, no, they don't understand. They haven't spent 10 years working, right? Failing on their face like me. That's how I know this. Okay? You don't just snap your fingers, read a book, or watch a video and figure this stuff out. Like you go through 10 years of like burning out and then having success and then crashing and burning and then having success and then you're like, I'm done with this. I want this. And then you use this stuff. Okay? So so this is really important. I mean like it's kind of weird because you know the saying like it takes one to know one? Like I feel that way about entrepreneurs. Like most people aren't entrepreneurs. They're just not. And they don't understand what we go through and they don't understand like the struggles we have because um, it's just like I don't know, it's just different. We think different, we act different, right? So I know by now like you and I are like we're on the same wavelength, right? Like I couldn't sit here and say the same things that I have said to you and not be an entrepreneur, right? Like it wouldn't even click. Like and you couldn't sit there and listen to this and taking these videos and be like, oh yeah, like he's I don't get this, right? Like any entrepreneur that would sit with me in a room, her and I would just bam. Like why do you think I won Inner Circle Member of the Year? Like what? Like because I'm an entrepreneur, I'm just like them. Like I just like geek out on talking about this stuff with them and I give them value. That's it, right? It's not that hard. Okay, so with that being said, I have an extremely important message. Like really, really important. Please listen to me. Okay, because if you want to make money and change the world, you have to do this. Okay, I'm serious. Listen, this is worth paying attention to. Okay, ready? There's a saying, okay, from Dan Kennedy. It's not the sexy things that make money, right? Here's what I mean. Us as entrepreneurs, we have this horrible, 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 horrible problem, right? Of like doing something and then it works and then never doing it again. I think it's because we get bored of it subconsciously. Like we're always on the move for the next thing and like it's just fun to like go and do new stuff and exciting. But the reality is like that's the opposite of what we need to do. Right? So we find, in other words, we find something, we try a bunch of stuff, we find something that works, right? We send out a message to somebody, to our potential avatar pitching our service. We get them to buy it, and then we're like, oh, that's the best thing ever. And then we don't do it again. We go on to the next thing, right? Well, what should we do? We should probably do that again, right? Remember what a system is? The system is just a thing that forces you to do that thing that worked again. That's it, right? So let me share a quick story that illustrates this. So I was fortunate enough to I played football, like I said, and coached and played I think for 15 years or something, and I was fortunate. Actually, it was more than that. It was like 20 years. Now that I think about it, jeez, I'm getting old. So I was fortunate enough to have a really, really, really outstanding coach in high school who came out of, it was actually one of my teammates' grandparents, or his grandpa. He came out of retirement. He was in the Hall of Fame, all this stuff. Like, came out of retirement to coach our team. Our team before him was historically pretty terrible. With him, undefeated seasons. Like, I had 4 undefeated championship seasons, unbelievable turnaround. And it literally came down to this. So, remember, we'd be on the field on offense, and we would run a play. Let's say we ran a play and got 5 yards. If we got 5 yards or more on any play, watch this, right? He would run the same play. Yeah, until the defense stopped him. I remember, I will never forget, in a game, we ran a play, okay, and then got 6 yards, whatever. He literally, I'm not kidding you, okay, because we were really resistant to this, because it wasn't, believe it or not, it's not that fun to run the same play. He literally, to prove a point, I think, during the game, we got 6 yards. He literally, at the top of his lungs, for the entire, so we heard it, those of us on the field playing, our sideline heard it, the defense that we're playing against heard it, their sideline with their coaches heard it, the entire stadium heard it. The entire stadium, he screamed at the top of his lungs after we got 6 yards. Run it again! Same crap. The whole stadium heard. So guess what? They know what's coming. The defense knows what's coming. But guess what? It doesn't matter. We're going to run it until you stop us. Because guess what? Mathematically, if we get 5 yards of crack, we will score a touchdown unless we fumble or throw an interception, right? We will score a touchdown. It is inevitable. 5 yards of crack equals touchdown, right? So there were so many drives where we would literally run the same play again and again and again in the length of the field and score a touchdown. Because my coach was so stubborn that he knew that we should run the same play. Okay? If we're going to get 5 yards or more, mathematically we'll win the game if we continue to run that same play, right? Until they stop us. Now here's the deal. Why don't other teams do that, right? I know you're thinking, well, why doesn't everybody do that? Well, guess what? They should, but they don't. Here's why. They don't because, number one, it's not very sexy to play, right? Can you imagine being like a receiver and you're running the same running play every single down, and all you're doing is just standing up there blocking like this? Not very fun to play, right? Can you imagine being a player, like a player on the sidelines or a fan in the stands watching that? That is not very sexy or exciting football to watch. And then, most importantly, can you imagine coaching that game? Can you imagine not having, like, coaches want this big elaborate playbook. You've seen it before, right? They got a million plays to draw from. Can you imagine having 3 plays that you run the whole game? Not very sexy or exciting to coach, right? But guess what? It's effective. And it's exactly what you need in your business. Dan said it. Like, it's not the sexy things that make money. It wasn't the sexy things that scored us touchdowns. Okay? It's not. It's the repetition of the stuff that works. It's the systemizing of the stuff that works. It's the do it again principle. Okay? So that's why I'm spending time right now to like ingrain in your mind. I'm so sorry. Some of this shit will not be sexy. But guess what? It makes money. And you know what's more sexy than doing something boring? Making money and helping people. That's sexy. Okay? So if you want to go back to watching the next Facebook Live some other guru's doing, if you want to go watch more courses, if you want to go invest in the new shiny object, be my freaking guest. But guess what? Myself and the others that I'm taking with me are going to make all the money. Okay? All right. I know you're going to make the right choice here to come with. But I just hope that please let that instill in your mind. Because I wish it was the sexy things that make money, but it's not. And guess what? You know that by now, right? You know that it's not. So that's what I got for you. Make sure with just, I hate to say it this way, but just don't be stupid. Like, if it worked, do it again, right? And then guess what? Do it again. And then guess what? Do it again. And then guess what? Do it again. And then guess what? Have someone else do it. And then have them do it again. Then have them do it again. Like, everything that works, do it again. Okay? Until it stops working. All right. Keep doing it. We're almost there.